when they were put in here, they were already, they're already 20 years old at this point. And this is classed as a relatively small spinning mule. This is 714 spindles. Some of them could have thousands of spindles on them, be as long as this room. But we just have this, quite a shortened version, and we will run it first of all. Yeah. This is the next bit. We'll do 2 draws. Yeah, oh, that's that moving. That is taking all of these full cops off and putting new bobbins on and new cops, and they would do it incredibly fast. That is why they were skilled workers. They were really good at their jobs. You'll notice Sean is now piecing up. That is when the strings break and you have to put them back together. We stop it to piece up for health and safety purposes. When this was a running mill, they would walk back and forth, piecing up as it went. So the mule spinner would piece up, and they were paid on piece up, so it was how much they made in one day. It went an hourly, it was how much they could produce, which is why they have to be so quick at docking and piecing up, because if one piece goes down, it can throw the whole thing off. So Sean is piecing up, and he would have walked back and forth a bit. He also would have a helper back in the day. Behind the 2 pictures, I'll have a nice please. Thank you. So, you'll notice there are 3 people on this photo. This man in the middle with the amazing moustache, he is the mule spinner. He is the second best paid job in this place. The first best paid job is the mill manager. He has a boy with him, a teenage boy. This is his big piecer, his apprentice. He is paying the apprentice out of his own wage, and the apprentice is helping him piece up and is learning the craft. There's also this boy here. This boy would be maybe 7 years old, 7 to 13 probably. So yeah, you would have been working in this mill. You wouldn't have been working in this mill the whole time. You would have gone to school in the morning, and then you'd have come to work in that mill. So you were called half-timers. It's a very long day. And yeah, he wasn't paid. He was unpaid. He was basically paid in experience. But he was learning this trade, because this is a very good trade to be in. Because you are so skilled at what you do, it was a desirable trade skill to know, and made you very employable. Most of the time, the big piecer and the little piecer would be part of the spinner's family, so his brothers, his cousins, his sons, his nephews. So he would, that was because when he was paying them out of his own pocket, it meant he could keep some of that money in the family. So he's got help with this. You'll notice some pictures, they are, what are they wearing on their feet? Nothing. they wouldn't wear shoes. There's a couple of reasons for this. One, it's hot in here. You don't really want to be bothered with shoes for 12 hours a day. There's also, these machines spit out a lot of oil, and these clogs, or what they would have worn if you been working here, you would have been wearing a pair of clogs with metal nails on the bottom. There's metal nails on the floor. We talked about this, metal on metal. Sparks. Metal on metal causes sparks. Sparks and oil causes fire. Like I said, they did have a big fire. There were common fires. These buckets that you see up, they were used pretty much every day. They would have filled it up with, they wouldn't want to cause a storm because if there's a small fire, you don't want to shut down the whole mill just
Good afternoon. The final water wheel talk, the wall story, will take place in 2 minutes' time. If you want to do this talk, please meet in reception. Somebody will take you to your guide. Thank you.
Who wants to do the water wheel talk? Do it next time. Do it next time. I can finish now. But yeah, so there's oil on the floor, it causes a fire. These buckets, you would just toss some water on the fire and put it out as quick as possible and as quietly as possible. And you would get a bonus for putting that out as quickly and as quietly as possible. So apparently around Christmas time, you did get a lot more fires. People wanted a bit of extra money. They also didn't wear them because you don't want to be bending down while this is coming out at you, so they would pick up pieces of scrap cotton on the floor with their toes, like monkeys, to avoid bending down as much. Now, it wasn't all fun and games or anything. Now, it's long, it's hot. You also had two really common diseases. One of them, you might have heard, is Carter's cough. That is when the cotton dust in the air goes on the back of your throat. We currently have extraction pipes up. That is was a safety feature fitted later in the 1950s. Before that, there was just cotton dust in the air, so it's hot, you can't really see. So when cotton dust gets in the back of your throat, it causes a really nasty cough, but it can travel down to your lungs and cause an even nastier lung infection called byssinosis or biocinosis. And Christie's Hospital in Manchester was specifically set up to deal with mill-related illnesses. They also had a really horrible other disease, specifically the mule spinners disease. You'll notice there's dark stains all across the trousers. That's from the oil that these machines spit out. And that oil, unfortunately, was a carcinogenic oil. That would give them cancer, particularly cancer of the testicles, and that was referred to as the spinner's illness. According to one mill owner, it didn't end your life, it just shortened it. So, eventually, they did swap the oil out for synthetic oil when health and safety rights started to come into place. But yeah, once this mill shut down in 1978 on Christmas Day, which is a bit of a rubbish Christmas present. Although we were really, really fortunate. High Mill on the site was owned by a trust already. It was already a museum for about 10 years while this was still operational. So the council managed to get hold of it and turn it into a museum within 24 hours, which is why we still have it today. And also thanks to the friends over there, as I was still able to operate the museum as much as we are today. As I said, it wasn't all fun and games, but we have spoke to some people who have worked who are in similar mills when it first became a museum a bit later, and they said, some of them have said it was the best days of their lives. You would work, you would live down the road and you'd come to work often with your neighbours. As workers' rights increased, often found that mill owners or mill managers would pay give their workers a week off or a few days off to go to the seaside for holiday, and they would often go together. So it was a really good community apparently to be part of, and I'm really lucky it's been preserved as much as it has been today. Does anybody have any questions about the spinning floor, about the mill in general?
Yeah, where is the room where those big wood hammers are?
Oh, that's in Higher Mill, so that's the water wheel talk. If you want to do that, they're just about to leave.
Right, okay. Do you want to see that?
Yeah.